City of Vallejo through the GVRD, that's the Greater Vallejo Recreational District. The City of Vallejo is determined to make this into a nice little recreational park for the neighborhood, and the community has come out here to defend our church, to defend our cemetery. And, you know, we came out here on April 14th intending to put ourselves physically in front of the bulldozer.
We had a meeting with the Department of Justice and them at the very beginning of the vigil, asking just particularly about the vigil, not even about discussing the issues that are going on right now with the grading and the bathrooms in the parking lot. And they decided after over a week, I believe, not to sign it. They asked us not to have tents here. They asked us to move our sacred fire outside of the gate during the evening and move it back inside the gate during the day. And this is a ceremonial ground, and once that fire is put in place, we're not supposed to move it. You don't move it. It's not like something. So when I talked to them, I said, well,
one of the things that I think is really important to understand about the laws of California is that you know, they're kind of the modern version of old styles of land theft. You know, back in, you know, the U.S. government, if they wanted a piece of land that belonged to a tribe, they'd go out and they'd get one Indian person and give them some gifts and get them drunk, and they'd say, here, put your mark on a piece of paper that they couldn't read. And then they'd say, hey, that's our bill of sale. So now we got that land, despite what the tribe would think, despite what the people would think, you know. And this is the way that the laws of California work. This is the modern day version of that same style of land theft. Because when you have public land in the state of California that has Indian remains or culturally valuable material for Indian people, supposedly you have to get the consent of the Indian community, of the Indian tribes, in order to do anything to that land, to destroy it or to, you know, develop it in any way. But the thing is, the way the laws are set up, you only have to get the consent of one single individual who is paid very, very well. So that person, you know, is appointed by the state. So the state gets to appoint a single Indian. They get to pay them gobs of money, and with that single Indian person.
And I've been in the American Indian movement spiritual leader for the state of California since '75. I was given that eagle staff to carry for our people and these different things. And this is really important to be here in that capacity, because letting America know today and the world know today, all indigenous peoples in many places are going to be having this struggle. We have to stop letting people grave rob and move our ancestors from where they were originally buried. No matter how important or how big the corporation that's doing it, that's a sacred burial site. It has to stop. And that's why we're here. They want to continue doing things here that will cover Mother Earth and disturb the natural habitat here that our ancestors lived with. We have grandmas and grandpas, and then we have children that were buried here that are older than us. You know, like you heard, this is a 3,500-year-old burial site. That is huge.
Burial ground of our ancestors. In 1984, these condominiums were built, and while they were being built, they found remains and artifacts. They took some of those remains and artifacts and put them in a different place, but they also moved all of that land over to this area here. And when they moved that land to that area, We believe that they moved artifacts and remains and cremations there as well. And so we're asking them not to grade that hill. What they're saying that part of their plan is to grade the hill 7 or 8 feet down, which would take this hill down so these people here could have a better view of the waterfront. So we're asking them not to grade that hill. Then the other area on the other side, they want to put bathrooms and they want to put parking lot there, but there's about 60 people.
That everyone knows that this is a burial site. I mean, that is uncontested. Even GVRD says, yeah, it's a burial site. Yeah, with the consent of this one man who gets enough money to make a living off of this, they can do whatever they want to Indian land. They can destroy our history. They can destroy our legacy. And that's another way of destroying our future, because we have to have that for our identity. We have to have our cultures intact in order to transmit them to our children. Our children will not know who they are if our past is obliterated.
By us being here, this is not a state park. You know, what's going to happen when we leave here, this is going to be a sacred burial site. It's going to be open for the people in the community to come down, do what they've been doing, fishing and stuff, but there's going to be a big sign up there on the entrance saying, you know, this is a sacred burial site. Please honor our culture and our tradition. Come down and enjoy, do what our people did here all the time. They came down and fished, they came down and used the waterway all the time.
We're going to defend this land no matter what. And even if it does come back down to us putting our bodies physically in front of the bulldozers to keep this land safe, then that's what we'll do. But the community is not going to let anything happen to this land, because this land is where we come to be ourselves. This is where we come to get in touch with the ancestors, with our history. This is where we come to show our children who they are.